Ladies and gentlemen, back again. We're live at Legends Rugby Grounds for the second. Small technical challenge there, but we are live at Legends Rugby Grounds for the second match of the season doubleheader. It is the Rhinos up against the Warriors. The early kickoff games have ended across the board on all venues. We have results from two of the venues. The one that we watched earlier today was between Cobbs and Impis, and it ended 46-5 in favor of the defending champions Cobbs. And at Kings Park, it was Black Pirates holding off a stiff and even stiffer challenge from the Ginger Hippos to win this one 19-0. Not sure if they got the bonus point, but Cobbs currently have 5 points in the league as they have begun their campaign. We're still waiting for results to come in from Makerere, where it was 3-10 at halftime. But we are underway in the second one here in the Legends Derby between the Warriors and the Rhinos. As Henry Musisi, a long-serving Warriors player at number, the Rhinos can make very good. First scrum of the game had to be reset a couple of times, but hopefully this will get us underway as we have Albright Sempa at the front row up against Kinyera Steven, Martin Arembe against Moses Mutumba, and the hookers are Derek Sebidandi, like I had mentioned earlier, against Charles Lubanga. But now very well played by the Warriors as Ivan Mugiria now applies some violence to the ball, finds some ground inside the 22, ball has to be slapped back by the Rhinos. It has been taken back into their own 22 and in-goal area. So let's see if the referee's call is going to award possession to the Warriors for that ball being slapped back into the area. Are they taking a 22? It's a goal line dropout. A little bit of a confusion. I think I will need to go back and revise my books of the regulations, but I found that unusual that ball taken back in the area and grounded has been judged to be a 22, a goal line drop, as the Rhinos attempt to clear their half, but they can only go just as far as their 22. Henry Musisi to his flyer for Ivan Mugiria. Ivan Mugiria is brought down by Sean Mwebaze, but there's advantage and offside there. Henry Musisi finds some space, catches the defense snapping, and finds Gabriel Aredo for the first try of the game for the Warriors. Just under the uprights, the two experienced players of the Warriors, that is Henry Musisi and his coach player Gabriel Aredo, catching the Rhinos defense snapping and scoring the first points of the game with just 5 minutes on the clock. Great start from the Warriors in this Legends Derby, and an opportunity for center Richard Kenyai to add an extra 2 points. He's a very good kicker, and he makes an easy work of that. As Daudi Semwami continues kicking T carry duties into the second game, this time for the Warriors, as he had done a little bit earlier for his team Cobs. Yeah, it is good for us to remember that rugby is full of generous people, but then also that Daudi Semwami played for the Rhinos before he crossed to Kenya Harlequins. And we are back underway with score at 7-0 in favor of the Warriors. Let's see if they will be clearing their half. Ivan Mugiria yet again. This time a high ball, not looking for touch, but into space. Off to Gabriel. And now he regathers. Breaks the first tackle. Gabriel Kwebi, namesake to Gabriel Aredo. Both are playing at 15 today, and Paul Kalunji now decides to play a slow ball. Out now, Ivan Chirabo. There's a couple of namesakes we have had in the first game and in this one. And then now there's a quick ball out wide. Davis Shimwa with the Rhinos playing advantage for a high tackle. Ivan Chirabo at fly half. Sends it out wide to the big front row up running that 3-pod in the middle. Ivan Chirabo knows he has the advantage. He puts the ball to the boot. Can the Rhinos regather? No, they can't. As Erasmus Aredo combines with his brother Gabriel Aredo to float him into space. But the advantage was not gained, and it will be a penalty for the Rhinos just at the 10-meter line. Ivan Chirabo's kick is short, and Rhinos' first attempt for points on the scoreboard has not been successful, and now we shall have the Warriors through Richard Kinyai getting the game underway with a 22-meter drop at the restart. Richard Kinyai with a long one deep, gathered by Paul Kalunji, who has some color in his hair. Let's see if there's some color in his rugby. Sells the first dummy, finds the gap, and he turns the corner, sends it out wide on the carry to Emmanuel Duku. Carries the ball into contact there, and the possession has been turned over by the Warriors, who are playing a quick ball out wide. And now Ivan Mugiri again clears his own lines for Gabriel Kwebiha, who leaves the ball to bounce, and he will bounce all the way deep inside his 22-meter territory. He shapes up to find touch. Is the kick good enough? Yes, it finds the territory, but it's not the best of kicks in such a situation. Quick line out. Now Gabriel Aredo on the attack. Offloads a chicken wing pass. And the referee has judged the Rhinos' defense for having been offside. After that kick, they did not retreat back behind the kicker or 10 meters. And they have been judged for having been offside. And now the Warriors, let's see the decision that they have taken.
Richard Kinyai pointed to the posts, and whenever he usually does that, they give him a shot at goal, and I think he's going to have his second attempt in this game.
Yeah, Warriors have had a strong start in this one compared to the Rhinos, as the kicking tee delays, and Richard Kinyai opts for the drop kick. The drop kick was just wide there, and we shall have a 22-meter drop, a 22-meter drop kick for the Rhinos against the Warriors. But as the referee needs to be The referee needs to correct her microphone and her connection system. Let's see if
you can
we'll
hear
be
me.
able to get the referee's audio. Yes, we can hear the referee.
When you're ready.
22-meter dropout there, taken and collected by Rajab Kakaire, who carries hard back into the game. And he sets up Henry Musidix for the ball to Moses Mutumba, who burrows through, trying to get some extra meters, patient inside the half of the Rhinos, as Ivan Mujiria, who is captain for this season, a lot of responsibility lying on him. They are getting pushed back. Warriors lose a couple of meters, trying to regain again. Marvin Agaba, who was very instrumental for the Warriors in the sevens, wearing shirt number 6 today, and they get a penalty and an advantage, a chance.
Tackler not rolling away there.
He's left on the way. We have to
Ivan
roll.
Mujiria will be looking for touch this time round.
The referee saying that it's not just enough to make the tackle and lie on the floor. You need to make an attempt to roll away. And in her eyes, Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi, the attempt by Harold Adrico was not enough to roll away. And so she awards the Warriors a penalty. And Ivan Mugiria finds touch
Use the line.
just at the 22-meter line.
Yeah, good attacking platform there for the Warriors, as the Cobs take their walk, their lap around the pitch. I think there are fans that came out to support them.
I spoke to head coach Davis Chiwarabi after the game, and he said that it was a win, but a scrappy one, and his team were not satisfied with the way they have played. But he says that the 15 players who did not take part in the 7 series took some time to adjust into the game, and that's why they had a bit of a slow and sluggish start to the season. But he believes that his team will be able to clean up and make amends in the coming games. Full points with the bonus point, the win and the bonus point. And he says they will take that and build on to the next one, which is a big clash against the Hiddens and Shadow Rugby Club.
As the Rhinos kick to the Warriors, and yet again the Warriors bring the ball back. Quick hands there, and Emmanuel Duku skips 2 tackles, but he's tackled on the 3rd attempt. Warriors trying to set it up, but both teams are gaining and losing possession so easily. Ball is kicked straight out by Ivan Chirabo, by Pool, the scrum half, whose name is Pool Kalunji, and he kicked the ball straight into touch, yet he was outside the 22-meter mark, and that takes them back to the exact mark where he, from an attacking line out by the Warriors. The Warriors have had the better territory in this game, so you think that they should be utilizing it a lot more, as Charles Lutaya gets ready to throw yet another ball, combines with Abdallah Latif, and Michael Aling there, ball watching, waiting for the ball to bounce towards him. And if you have been around a rugby ball, then you know that usually doesn't happen. As Ivan Chirabo tries to look for more meters to pin the Warriors back into their half, and player Gabriel Aredo with the red boots also applying violence to that ball and getting some extra meters there. And with the ball in touch, now the teams can get to reorganize themselves.
Yeah, you see the way this first game has been played. Warriors were quick off the blocks and put points on the board. But then Rhinos are slowly getting back in this one by being the first at that breakdown. They've so far 1-2 turnovers. The first by Ivan Chirabo and the second by Marvin Agaba. That has brought a contest at the breakdown there. And even the lineouts from both sides are not exactly the strongest, as we saw the first one, possession turned over to the Rhinos, and now this second one, possession turned over to the Warriors. And the Warriors now in Ivan Mugiria looking for some space, some grass on the back, but Gabriel Kwebiha is there watching all the territory as the ball is fumbled there, but it falls into the path of Latif Sebagala.
Captain Yellow.
Center referee needs to make some consultation to Ivan
When there's a
Chirabo.
kick, tell your teammates to always make effort to go back. They're always standing in one place waiting for the other person to come through. Let them make effort and go back.
Yeah, and we've seen the new regulations, the law that once a kick has been made from the park, from the back. All the players in the middle must make an effort to retreat, or they stand still until they have been put onside by a teammate. That is the consultation that center referee Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi, with her experience, has offered to the Warriors. And let's see if now the Rhinos have learned from that. Yes, they have, but it has been fumbled, the ball there, by Erasmus Aredo after Kinyera.
Gentlemen, I think you're not
Richard
listening to what I'm
Kinyai
saying,
wasn't
eh?
able to find
I
touch.
said when you see a kick,
from that
not offer to
penalty.
go back.
And she mentions it again, Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi, about how the players who are ahead of the kicker should behave when the kick has been
You're
made.
not listening.
Yeah, as you can see, both teams not imposing themselves on who is taking charge of this game. It's a topsy-turvy situation with both sides trying to gamble with the possession. No one is taking full control, and a lot of fielding happening. Both teams trying to size each other up.
We stay up, we stay up.
Warriors currently have the advantage on the scoreboard and in regards to territory,
We stay up.
as
Let's have
Rhinos
dividing
still in
up.
their resurgence, trying to make the most of their squad.
Crouch.
Predominant squad led by head coach Marshall Chumkam, who was a
Fine.
great servant of Uganda Rugby
Sit.
and Rhinos Rugby as well.
We stay up, boys. We stay down.
Yeah,
So many players to look out for there for the Rhinos, especially Kevin
Upper
Nazoe,
stay.
number 13, a youngster, and number 12 as well, Davis Shimwa. Two players that are for the future,
Samuel.
you should say, as the Warriors attempt to
Samuel.
hold up the player, but it turns into a
Samuel.
ball. Can they be able to make that ball unplayable? We can see Isaac Tago has hands on ball as the referee looks to assess the situation. And the whole Warriors team is seemingly 80% of the team is invested in the ball, and you can see they are happy with their efforts.
And
Because
that was a worthy return on investment from the Warriors, holding up. You can see some thumbs up with Gabriel Aredo there and his forward back. The investment to force the ball and then ensure that the ball is unplayable, holding on, and they have won the possession back for a scrum just at their 10-meter line. We've got an update from
We still have minutes.
we've got an update from Kings Park. It was a 19-0 score, but not a bonus point score, as we had 3 tries, one by Peter Bisaso, the debutant, against
Set.
his former team, the Ginger Hippos, and another by Alex
Steady and
Aturinda
stable.
and William
Stay down,
Mukore.
stay down,
William
stay
Mukore was
down.
able to convert 2 of those tries for the score 19-0. Ginger Hippos unable to put some points on the board there. And we have another scrum this time after a strong push by the Rhinos Park.
My eyes
This
are on
time,
your hands, so if I say it's a knock on, it's a knock on. It's your
the
ball, I let
ball
you
has
go.
been knocked forward by Henry Musisi at the back of that scrum down. Oh yeah, I think I just got some clarification here with some feedback. A bonus point is 3 tries more than your opponent, and Pirates have scored 3 tries more
Crouch.
than the Ginger Hippos, so they have a full complement of points there. Thanks for the
Fine.
correction, Ruben, on that. But the action is ongoing, and we have
There's no ball. Why are you
the
pushing?
yellow, the original, I could say, yellow machine, as Heathens rebranded. But now we know that Rhinos have a full force in
High
their
tackle.
scrum down. It's a high tackle. Davis Shimwa
Was a high
looking for
tackle.
that offload. Paul Kalunji was tackled high, so it's a penalty. And now the Rhinos appear to be in the driving
high
seat,
tackle.
despite being 7 points behind.
We got 10.
But let's see the decision that is taken by Evan Chirabo. Quick restart, or we go for the line out. He opts for the line out.
yeah, it's early in the game, and you could say it's a good decision there for them to actually go for the line out. The angle wasn't favorable for a kick at goal, so it is better for them to actually try and go out
Open,
and
open.
see if they can maybe utilize the maul, or at least suck in
Watch the five. Watch
the
step on
team
five.
with
Watch your
with
five.
their
Watch your five. Watch the
forwards,
five.
and then maybe swing the ball out to the back line. But let us wait and see what the Rhinos have prepared for this particular set piece. The Warriors will have to defend their line very well. They started on well, but now they have to show the other side of the game. Can they defend? And it is players on their knees as Ivan Chirabo tries to look for the gap, but he is tackled and he loses ball in tackle, and that is a very, very good effort by the Warriors. Moses Mutumba there with the tackle on Ivan Chirabo, who loses the ball in contact.
A beautiful, stronger defense from the Warriors. They put up a challenge at that line out and subsequent breakdown there in an attempted driving maul, and then they forced the attack to go out wide, but then they choked that distribution channel of Ivan Chirabo, who had to turn the corner and landed into the shoulder of Moses Mutumba and lost the ball into contact. Now the Rhinos, the Warriors, will need to make better use of this scrum down, clear their own half.
It's interesting to see who's going to be taking that kick. Two players standing behind the scrum with relatively big boots, Richard Kinyai and Ivan Mujiria.
Strong scrum there by the Rhinos. The referee's hand is out for advantage, and it has been lost forward again on the floor at the back of the scrum by Henry Musisi. And you can see the joy, and you can hear the jubilations.
8 purple, step behind until scrum is done. 8 of Vio. 8
scrum
purple.
Effort there.
8 purple.
By the Rhinos.
8 purple.
You can see getting a very, very good attacking platform now. Sure,
you're popping up. You're coming out.
If they get a try out of this should be credited to the entire scrum, because that was a worthy effort.
Yeah, the force of momentum from the Rhinos pack is forcing the 8th man, Erasmus Aredo, to unbind Ali, which he has been penalized for, which has been won for, and the penalty will be coming if the infringement continues. But that's a very beautiful and strong scrum for the Rhinos. Yet again to turn over possession. This time it's even deeper in the Warriors' territory. Pull Kalonji to feed. He has Jerry Temba at the back of the scrum, who picks. Fends off Latif Sebagala, runs straight into Gabriel Aredo, breaks the tackle and scores the try that attempts to level matters here for the Rhinos. It is 7-5 with conversion to come, but what a response from the Rhinos.
Yeah, brilliant there by the number 8, Jerry Tembo. And very, very, you can say, weak tackling, but there by Warriors. Players going high, being bumped off, and the number 8 goes all the way and he scores. And Rhinos are back in this game with hopefully if they can be able to get the conversion by Ivan Chirabo, then they will be level 7-up. For those that remember 7-up the drink, this could be the scenario if Ivan Chirabo can be able to score. And he has the direction but not the distance, so Warriors still have a 2-point advantage in this one, and they will need to clean up. Warriors, for those that are not familiar with the colors, Warriors in the purple and the Rhinos in the black and yellow. Both teams having this as their home ground, so this is a Legends Derby.
Hold on.
So one of the teams that will be wanting to have a better representation of themselves, especially in the 2020-15 championship, as the referee calls for a water break.
This is the 4th game in the opening match day of the NAL Special Rugby Premier League. We have another derby across the road. This time it's the Chadondo derby between the Heathens and the Buffaloes. We are yet to get the current scores across the road. But in this water break, as we contact our correspondents and our sources across, we will be bringing you the scores. But it's a very competitive derby here at Legends Rugby Grounds, as the Warriors and the Rhinos tussle it out in the opening match day. Warriors lead 7-5, courtesy of a try scored by Gabriel Aredo. Try scored by Gabriel Aredo and converted by Kinyera, and then the responding try was scored by Jerry Tembo for the Rhinos. And there we can see the two Aredo brothers, Gabriel and Erasmus. Erasmus had to stretch Gabriel Aredo there. He looks to be in a fit of pain, but Erasmus is off the pitch having some consultation with Ivan Semuemba and of Chambogo Rugby and Philip Adraf of Makerere Impis Rugby. With some laughter on some of the matches that are happening, but Gabriel Aredo will be running back on. with what looks like
But
a
we can't
painful
give water
knee.
break when the ball is in motion. Ball has to first to go dead. Then I give a water break. But if I get a mutuai, I stop water break.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
The update from across Ginger Road at the Chadondo Derby has come in. Heathens are leading 10-0 against the Buffaloes. But back here in action in the Legends Derby, it's the Warriors that are leading 7-5 as Ivan Mugiria gets us underway with a kick restart that is received by Ivan Chirabo, who finds touch just outside his 22.
That water break couldn't have come at the right time for the Warriors, who knew they had to reorganize themselves. Some bit of lackluster play there, as a line out now inside the Rhinos half is yet to be effected, with Charles Lutaya looking for the throw gathered by Erasmus Aredo and Moses Mutumba there. But the tackle was equal to the challenge and the ball is loose. The referee gives a penalty, tackler not releasing there, and you can see all the players pointing to the posts. And Richard Kinyai, even before the captain makes the call, he has come. He's one of the more reliable kickers when it comes to, there's a case of the cone coming very late for
or
the
not
Warriors.
coming at all.
Yes, and he has to attempt the drop goal.
His attempt is just short, gathered by Ivan Chirabo, who dances his way past the defense, offloads to
Kevin Nazo, the youngster Kevin Nazo there, trying to attempt one of Namiliango's boys who somehow found themselves in Rhinos. It's good to see that some of these talented boys don't all choose to go to one team, but maybe go to other teams where they can get some game time. But there is a bit of context at the breakdown there.
From the side.
Gavin Agava arriving from the side.
Always use the
Well, that's
gate.
Harold Adrico arriving from the side at this breakdown as Paul Kalunji was shaping up to take a 22-meter drop. I mentioned at the beginning of the game that the kicking tee was being delivered by
When I say use it, use it.
by Cobb's winger Daudi Semwami, and I think there's a miscommunication on the Warriors technical bench about who is supposed to deliver that kicking tee. It should be their duty, not the duty of Daudi Semwami for another club, and they've got 2 points that have gone begging.
It has happened, and it has caused them issues.
Yeah, they have two opportunities for kickable points have gone begging, as Richard Kinyai has to opt for the drop goal as opposed to a kick off the tee.
Potential 6 points that they may regret if the Rhinos are to strike and get other points. Remember, in 15s, all the points you get, you take. It is a game of 80 minutes. 80 minutes of attrition of physicality. So whenever you get a penalty that's kickable, you take your 3 points, and then you gain the advantage. As we're seeing Rhinos now having their the line out inside the Warriors half, but they lose their own line out. Henry Musisi attempts to gather Moses Mutumba, and they are taking on 2 men. Tacklers not showing daylight, but the referee lets it slide. Latif Abdallah coming with pace, and he stopped. Henry Musisi sniping through the gaps. He has of experience in this style of play, and serving the Warriors as well. He has had a lot, but the ball has been turned over. It's a game where no one has controlled possession thus far, and Now we are seeing the Rhinos trying to express them. So that's Martin Arembe with the ball, and ball goes out wide. Rhinos playing a lot more expansive, but the Warriors are able to scramble back in defense and push the ball into touch. But it's going to be a scrum.
A
line out actually, which was started quickly, but the referee says they should go back and have it taken the right way.
Now there, Center Referee Rosenberg Kanyunyizi giving Richard Kinyai a warning that she will send him to the bin if he tries to kill the advantage, or rather the attempts by his opponents to play a quick restart. It was a line out quick restart there and lost by Ivan Mwesigwa just after on that line out feed.
On the 5, on the 5. We guys, we got the 5. We got the 5.
Referee has called them back for that line out for the Rhinos, but let's see what they will use this. They will play with this line out. It's not a straight ball and fumbled across. We will come out on either way. The referee says play on. The Rhinos are in possession of this one. Up on the second phase with that PD. Ivan Chirabo. Paul Kalonji playing backwards. Sends it out wide to Albrecht Semper. To Martin Arembe, rather.
Away, tackle away.
Tackler is not rolling away. Slow ball for the Rhinos. Paul Kalonji finds Ivan Chirabo. Ivan Chirabo on to Davis Shima. David Shima offloads to Gabriel Kwebiha, who will dive over for the second try of the Rhinos to take the lead for the first time in this game. Rhinos playing very beautiful rugby. They lead 10-7 against the Warriors. This game has turned on its head, hasn't it?
Yeah, and you can just see that the Rhinos, whenever they get their opportunities, they are making the most of them. They are being the more clinical side, and it was showing how threatening they were, playing a lot more expansive and stretching the Warriors. Stretched them the first time, and the Warriors were able to scramble, but on the return, unfortunately, they were able to score. And the wing of Joseph Anyi in combination with the 15 Gabriel Kweviha has been the more dangerous as they attempt the extra points yet again. This time Kevin Nazo, who was attempting the kick, doesn't get it. It just falls short, so the score remains 10-7.
Rhinos have assembled a number of young lads to lead their charge this season, and you can see that the background work is paying off with Kevin Nazo and Davis Shimwa in the midfield, giving the experienced combination of Isaac Tago and Richard Kinyai a run for their money. And they lead in this one 10-7, although they've left 4 points on the board after scoring those tries. And we can see there again Ivan Mwesigo with a strong carry. And now the tactic that had worked the first time is going to work the second time as the Warriors attempt to hold up the Rhinos and force a maul turnover that will give them possession for a scrum, and all those attempts have been successful.
Scrum.
Yet again, Warriors are able to defend that maul and make the ball unplayable, which gives them advantage, but they know that they need to respond, and they need to respond quickly. They have had 2 chances to kick.
We stay five.
Brought onto the
crouch.
And they've had to attempt the drop goal from a long distance, meaning they have had 6 points that they could have gotten lost. And now they need to dig themselves out of this one. The Rhinos, having had a slow start, look like they are now the livelier of the 2 teams, with a host of youngsters, most notably Kevin Nazo wearing shirt number 12 and shirt number 14, Joseph Anyi, who are both from Namiliango. As the Warriors gather the ball, Isaac Tago, you can see a training ground move, but Ivan Mujiria drops the ball. It was a case of a poorly executed move there, which is quite unfortunate there, and you can see the players are not happy with themselves. And on the other hand, in stark contrast, the Rhinos are in celebration mode, trying to maybe get a bit into the heads of the Warriors, and also psyching themselves up so they can be the better. Remember, it's not just a physical game, it's a mental game. The team that has the better mental focus can go the distance of the 80 minutes. As yet another scrum.
8, please bind it. 8 Papa, please put your 8 in.
Pull Kalunji with ball in hand.
Bind.
It's beautiful to see that rugby is a game of all sizes. You can have scrum
saying the
halves who
same
are
thing.
very, very small but very impactful on the game. Then you can have forwards who can
Crouch.
be big and mountain-like individuals,
Fine.
but they also have an impact to the game.
Set.
So it's just great to see that rugby is the kind of
it
game
there,
that's
keep it there.
all-encompassing. And we hope wherever you are, you're also enjoying it
Stay.
by yourself or you're with friends
We
and
stay.
you're enjoying a couple of Nile specials. Nile Special, the official sponsor of the 15th Rugby League in Uganda. As Kevin Nazo asking questions on this backline of the Warriors. Richard Kinyai trying to attempt the turnover, and we're seeing number 13, Dennis Shimwa, trying to also ask questions. In the battle of the centers, the Rhinos centers are actually doing a lot more. As we're seeing, that is Steven Kinyera trying to get some extra meters. Both teams have players who are from the other side, and we shall tell you more about them as Davis Shimwa and Kevin Nazo combine in a typical centers battle there, with Richard Kinyai on the other side, and the Warriors trying to do the same thing yet again, make sure a play is unplayable, and they escort Kevin Naso into touch, which is going to be a line out to the Warriors.
Rajab Kakaire combining there with Richard Kinyai to hold up. Richard Kinyai holds up Kevin Nazo, and Rajab Kakaire goes first time for the ball, puts his hands on the ball and makes sure that there's no way how it will be played out. They have been banded into touch, but they could have opted for a scrum there, but the call is a line out, and center referee Rosenberg, and he says that Marvin Agaba, since he is not in the field of play, can be attended to on the side as play continues.
Hold on.
And so we have Charles Lutaya there to throw the line out for the Warriors. Calls being made by Erasmus Aredo. Latif Sebagala lifted by one man. It's not a straight ball by Charles Lutaya.
Line out or scrum. Scrum.
And the Rhinos, given the options presented to them at the table, have opted for a scrum down. They know that this is their strong point, don't they?
Yeah, they have had the advantage at scrum time, and you can see they are taking it down because they know they have a better advantage. Lineouts have been 50-50,
after putting in your ball move, don't block
they don't really want to put it to chance. They want to go in an area where they're more sure. And you can see the communication there between Paul Kalonji and Ivan Shirabo.
Find the space, find
Ivan
space.
Shirabo is not the oldest of players, but he has played a lot of rugby for his age, and he will be one of the voices there of experience and reason in that Rhinos camp.
We hold it,
he will be leading from that number 10 position. As Paul fits the ball, and patient slow ball there, ball comes out, long ball to Davis Shimwa and Joseph Anyi there, and Gabriel Kwebiha.
And yet again, the Warriors applying that move that we've known has always been used by the Rams, from Makere, choosing to hold the attacking player up and force the turnover from the maul that follows after that.
When you tackle, move. Move, make sure you move.
Two of the Warriors players did not roll away.
Please make sure I move away.
And the penalty for what looked like was their turnover possession. Penalty has gone against the Warriors. Ivan Chirabo has to take his mark if he needs to play the quick restart.
What is it?
He goes for touch.
It's interesting to see that the Rhinos have not been opting to go for points.
They have
chosen
to
keep
put him out.
For touch. We don't know if that's a calculated reason, or because maybe they feel like their set piece is better, or maybe they just don't have the kickers and have the distance.
I think Rhinos know the strategy that they come into this game with. They know that, and they have tasted it, that if they try and play against the Warriors pack, they will be able to put some points on the board. But they will need to fix those small, they need to tighten those bolts in their set plays. As you can see there, a line out where they had shaped up for a driving maul was thrown not straight, and possession was turned over So it's a line out / maul. The Warriors have opted for the line out. Can Charles Lutaya throw a straight ball this time so that the Rhinos, the Warriors, who know that their scrum is on the back foot against the Rhinos, can they win this ball and then attack in a very good platform? Yes, they win the ball off to Richard Kinyai, who sells the first dummy but is swamped by a wave from the Rhinos attack, from the Rhinos pack, led by Joshua Obol.
Ball is available, use it.
Ball is available to use, says the referee, onto Ivan Mugiria, who puts the ball to the boot and sends it out wide to the 10. Fun touch, but it's a quick line out by the Rhinos. Davis, that's Gabriel Kwebi, decides to go alone, breaks a few tackles with the whole line, space waiting for him. Attempts the offload, but it was open play, so there is no offside line. And Rajab Kakare now can start the Rhinos counter-attack. Out to the back line. There's no one watching the backfield. Gabriel Redo has pace for days. He will beat everyone for pace, but not the ball as it bounces into touch. And he looks like he has pulled his hamstring, Gabriel Redo there. Or is it that painful ankle that he felt at the first water break? The Rhinos, the Warriors still have possession of the ball as they were playing advantage. But Gabriel Redo is in a very, very concerning situation there with the pain that is coming from his ankle.
You have to see off the bench who can be able to cover him if he's unable to continue. But that was very good recovery there by Isaac Tago.
Where did the ball land? Where? Did it bounce then off the pitch? Was it in the 22? No, I mean, did it cross the 22 then out? No, right. Okay, go there.
So center referee Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi had to consult with Brian Batakwile on whether that was a 50-22, and that would mean that Warriors had the advantage for possession. They would get a line out just at the 22-meter line, but the assistant referee was not sure of whether the ball bounced inside the 22 or not, and that's the Warriors were awarded that advantage penalty back inside their half. But that was a very smart play from Ivan Mugiria there in attempting to find space at the back, but also looking for that 50-22. Strong line out defense from the Rhinos, but Lutaya is able to gather. He is tackled, and the ball goes into touch, and that will be the halftime score. Rhinos lead 10-7 in this one. A game which started with the Warriors in charge. They took the lead early through Gabriel Redo off an offload by Henry Musisi with the quick restart. Full points taken by Richard Kinyai, but then the Rhinos responded with 2 tries of their own, orchestrated by their pack, but scored by their backline players. But one by eighth man Jerry Tembo, and then the other one by Gabriel Kwebiha to take the lead 10-7 and hold on to it into the break here at Legends Rugby Grounds.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly. What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Mond Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly. What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Mond Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink.
Halftime break here at Legends Rugby Grounds. The Rhinos lead 10-7 against the Warriors in the Legends Derby. And in the Chadondo Derby across the road, across Ginger Road at Chadondo Rugby Club, Heathens lead 19-0, lead 22-0 against the Buffaloes in what has been a very, very tight weekend, tighter than we had expected today, because we saw in the first games earlier today, we saw that the Cobs, who are the defending champions, had to force their way over Impis, winning 46-5, a game where they had won 91 last weekend and over 80 points last season and over 80 points the season before that. But then also Ginger Hippos put up a very stiff challenge against the Black Pirates. Black Pirates holding on for that one, 19-0, courtesy of the first try of the game scored by new signing Peter Bisaso, who came from the Ginger Hippos. But you get the feeling that Ginger Hippos are building on from what they achieved with now dearly departed Robert Seguya, and with the signings that they added in Isaac Rujumba and Michael Amolo and Yusuf Waiswa. I think once we get to hear the stories of what happened at Kings Park, we will get to know the true picture of how this game has played out. But I, for one, think that the Ginger Hippos have improved, but then the new signings on both ends have been instrumental in this performance. Right now here, we have a Legends Derby on our hands, and then across the road we have a Chadondo Derby. As expected, Heathens are in the lead 22-0. And this one here at Legends has changed hands just once, as Warriors took an early lead, and then the Rhinos came back to lead 10-7. What do you think of the performance of the game so far?
For this Legends Derby in particular, I think it was a bit of the Warriors coming out of the blocks and firing all guns blazing, but then afterwards they just went cold. They made the more mistakes, and you could see how the Rhinos, who didn't start the game very well, showed that they're a better drilled side, and a testament to Marshall Chumkam and what he's doing for Rhinos. They came out, they had their set pieces right. They have not been kicking for points, but they've been kicking for touch, and then they get their set piece, they utilize it, they have scored 2 tries, all originating from the set piece, and that has been one of the good things.
And what a performance that they are having with those 2 youngsters in the midfield, that is Davis Shimwa and Kevin Nazo. Davis Shimwa started at Ntare School and then went on to St. Mary's College, Kisui. Kevin Nazo, you mentioned that he was at Namiliango College.
Yeah. I think when you go to the battle of the midfield, it has been surely an outclass. Kevin Nazo and Davis Shimwa for the Rhinos have really just been industrious. They've been looking for the work. They've been putting in the tackles. They have been really trying to be in the faces of the Warriors. You realize the backs for the Warriors have not put in any proper wide play moves because these guys are in their faces. The one time something was about to happen, there were 2 players rushing at Ivan Mujiri and he dropped the ball. So you can see just even in defense, they are really, really hungry to prove a point to their coach that they are the guys to really take this team forward. And it's a very young team, so I'm excited to see what really can come out of that group. And
do you think now with the remaining 40 minutes, just 3 points separating the 2 teams, which direction do you think this is going to take? Because we have seen the Warriors take the early lead, and we can see Gabriel Redo is still suffering with that ankle injury. The experience that they have on their squad has carried them early in the game, but is it enough for them to reassume the lead and walk away with the 4 points from this one?
I don't think this current score is enough for the Rhinos. They know they need to come out and put as many points as possible. I'm sure Marshall will also talk about taking the points. Looking at Gabriel Heredo, the way he's walking, I don't think he'll be able to finish this game. And we might see Ochan Juma coming on for him in the number 15 shirt. But then the Warriors as well, they have they need to be make better decisions. Having to point at the posts and call for the penalty to be taken, a shot at goal, and then not having the cone coming on time is just wrong. They left 6 points on the pitch there. So it all goes down to one thing. These are teams that are evenly matched. Who can be able to be the more efficient and also have the less mistakes? I think the team that can do that and take their opportunities will be able to win this one.
Yeah, and we have all to play for in the next 40 minutes as Gabriel Redo limps off for the Warriors, meaning that there will need to be a forced substitution for this second half. And we see that the teams are back on and waiting for the referee, who is having some consultation with the Rhinos captain, as we look forward to kick-off of the second half of this match.
This hand goes. I'm watching just the
Meeting at the breakdown with a rival at the breakdown and the hands at the breakdown, and then rolling away for the team, for the continuity and for there to be a fair contest for both sides.
Chichi. There's nothing for Gaza. They are okay. That's not what you're doing. That one is okay. You're doing that, then his hand is knocking on. He does that, yes. So what? That one is okay, because the ball is going your side. You see.
Richard Kinyai there with some Beautiful dance moves as we prepare to get the second half underway. Both teams have had some, should I say, communications to make the referee, and they will hope that the calls now, the 50-50 calls, will be in their favor. But there will be no favor for the Warriors, as that restart by Richard Kinyai was short and did not travel.
Behind the kicker, eh? Let him
Not-
time his chasing.
Did not travel the regulatory 10 meters, and so we'll have a scrum feed at the center line as a confirmation of a Warriors substitution. It's Ochan Juma,
From the center, sir.
I believe. Yes, it is Ochan Juma on for Gabriel Redo, who looks dejected and disappointed in having this ankle injury cut his 2022 Nile Special Rugby Premier League campaign short and off before it even begins, and now he has to watch from the sidelines as his boys tussle it out. Scrum well picked by Tembo onto Paul Kalunji. Paul Kalunji finds Davis Shima, who is tackled ferociously there just at the 10-meter line. There's a gain in territory, but no gain in possession as the ball has been turned over, and now Marvin Agaba will attack at the breakdown. Slow ball out for Henry Musisi, who feeds Odinga Samuel, and now back into the pocket for Ivan Mugiria to send the ball. It's looking for the 50-22. He doesn't find it. Finds touch behind Joseph Anyi, who played the ball. So it will most probably, yes, it is. It will be a Warriors line out.
Did he
Very
touch?
good decision and very good
Did he
kick.
touch? So he didn't touch. So it's their ball, eh?
Yeah, the kind of territory that Warriors would like to find themselves in the second half.
Yeah, change in possession there as Batakweli, his signal with the flag indicated that it was going to be a Rhinos ball, a Warriors ball, but a consultation with Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi clarifies that
Be inside the five.
Joseph
Watch the
Anyi
five.
did
Watch
not
the
touch
five.
that ball, and so it is a Rhinos ball on the line out.
But then that gives us a question that if Joseph Anyi didn't touch it and Ivan wasn't inside the 22, how is it a line out there?
Because it's 50-22
I
and the
don't
ball
think
bounced
it's
on and
50-22
off the pitch.
this side. The ball
Or
hasn't.
rather, it was an on and off kick, so you will get a gain in territory, but you will not gain the possession.
It looked like
Yeah.
it went straight into touch, but if maybe you saw it better than me in that particular angle, as Joseph Anyi tries to get some extra meters, but you're seeing Warriors have ripped the ball, this time from the scrum. Isaac Tago doing some dirty work there as Moses Mutumba trying to get some balls in, and that is Abdallah Latif.
Okay.
Patient play.
No, that's
Patient play, getting as
Leave his feet,
many
leave his
meters
feet.
as possible. However little they might be, they are taking every inch they can get. And that is Charles Lutaya for you. Slow ball by Henry Musisi.
From the side there goes
Interesting, the referee's arm isn't yet up, but he remains the sole judge of fact. Erasmus Aredo there, the 8th man of the team. And it's a ball out there to Isaac. Is it Isaac Tago? Should be there. Good defense by the Rhinos there. Patiently defending. The resolve to defend is matching the attention in attack as Erasmus Aredo is down, and the doctor comes onto the pitch to attend to him. We hope it's not serious, but at the far end, the battle is still going on. Patient play. Musisi Henry, the scrum half, controlling the tempo, and that must be Adson Mugera, who has come on at prop.
It's the 8th phase for the Warriors. The Park have decided to take this into their own hands. The backline are calling for the ball, but the Park are still holding on to it. They are playing without the experienced Erasmus Aredo, and we can see there that Odinga Samuel has been held up, and now the Warriors are playing backwards. The maul has been called. Ball is available to play on the Warriors' end. It's an open ball, lost into contact, and now the Warriors have lost possession. Turnover effected. Beautiful defense by the Rhinos there. Scrambled play on both ends. Ivan Chirabo now sends it out wide to Davis Shima. Davis Shima runs straight into Richard Kinyai.
Advantage, advantage.
Referee playing advantage. Richard Kinyai gets the possession on the ball, but there's a scuffle there with Paul Kalunji.
Stay on your feet. No, you didn't. No. We stay on our feet. Mark is here.
That's some very sharp defense from the Rhinos to deny the Warriors a fighting chance in this game. Erasmus Aredo is back on his feet. He has seen his younger brother Gabriel Aredo limp off. He wouldn't want to limp off as well and leave the Warriors fighting without the Aredo brothers on the pitch. And we can see another player again from the Warriors.
That's Moses Mutumba, who's also down.
Also down. I think just like Gabriel had mentioned yesterday on the Twitter space that we hosted on Kawowo Sports, that he knows that he has the arsenal to put up a good campaign this season, but his team will be struggling at the start with some conditioning, and unfortunately he was the first casualty to injury in the game. We can see Erasmus Aredo is also in some painful situation there. He's going to find some space there in the shed as Moses Mutumba is being attended to by the physio. Substitution there being called by the Warriors.
Who is off, who is on? Are you on or out? Sabo, what's your problem?
So a substitution by the Warriors, I think it is Erasmus Aredo. Yes, Erasmus Aredo has played his final part in this game. So we have the Warriors playing the remaining 30 minutes or so without their coach and coach player Gabriel Aredo, but also without the experienced elder brother in Erasmus Aredo, as Samuel Odinga came on for Erasmus Aredo in this substitution.
Use the gate, wait.
Warning for the Warriors to use the gate. Davis Shima again has been very, very instrumental in this carry. Offloads the ball to Kebikanga, who was bundled into touch. Very strong defense.
Eye from him.
From the Warriors.
He stepped out?
He touched out.
Stepped up.
And there is Brian, the assistant referee, Brian Batakwire,
Captain!
making a strong decision in noticing that the player in possession of the ball had his hand in touch, and so it will be a line out.
I don't want to see a player attacking to make the decision.
A line out possession for the Warriors as the center referee Rosenberg Kanyunzi gives Martin Arembe a warning that she does not want to see players trying to influence the referees or her assistant referees' decisions.
Come in.
Patient play. Charles Lutai hasn't been having a very good day at the throw from the line out, but this time he gets it right.
No, he doesn't. The ball is not straight. Well won.
From our angle, it looked okay, but from the referee's angle, it was a bit biased, and it has been one of those areas that has really been a challenge for the Warriors for seasons, even before this, that their set piece, especially the line out, has not been the best. So that is something.
And so is their scrum down. They have been overpowered by the Rhinos, as hopefully we shall be able to see in this subsequent scrum down that is going to be fed by Paul Kalonji just inside the 22-meter territory.
Yeah, But I also have to say that I'm really impressed with the way the Rhinos scrum has played, the organization, the way they are scrummaging. You can really see the testament of having a head coach who is who has a prop. That there's emphasis on the forwards and the nitty-gritties, the small things, the intricacies of what they do as forwards.
Yeah, stable scrum there from the Rhinos. We have Kevin running a short line on the switch, and he's tackled hard. But the Rhinos maintain possession. A loose ball out wide. To Billy Ochen. And the Rhinos are still in possession. Now we have Ivan Mwesigwa on the carry. Paul Kalunji goes back to the right side. Ivan Chirabo attempts to sell the dummy, finds Davis Shima. Davis Shima will break the first and second tackle. Tackler hasn't rolled away. Henry Musisi is attempting the turnover. And yes, it is successful after that fair contest on the breakdown. And the Warriors now have possession inside their 22. He says that the tackler needs to roll away. Ball bounced on the Rhinos side. And possession has been turned over. Ivan Mwesigwa out. Looked like a loose ball that landed, a loose forward pass, as the referee has judged, into Latif Abdallah's hands. Henry Musisi now settling in, but he will. You can see he's raising his hands out to the referee, saying that the players are arriving from the side of the breakdown. But it is a scrum for the Warriors in front of the uprights, about 10 meters away. And you can hear the referee assuring the Warriors Captain Ivan Mugiria that she is watching all those infringements and complaints that the Warriors are forwarding to her at the breakdown.
Yeah, the Warriors still trailing this one by 3 points, having scored first. That is not the kind of territory they want to find themselves in right now, but the first thing they need to do is get that scrum stable so that they can be able to exit. Two boots at the disposal of Henry Musisi. On his left will be Ivan Mujiria, and deeper on his right will be Richard Kinyai. Richard Kinyai is very dangerous from the boot, and he has won many games for the Warriors like that, but they will need to get him in kickable territory for him to be able to work his magic as Henry Musisi feeds the ball and patiently waits to pick. Stable scrum there by the Warriors, and a big boot there by Ivan Mujiria, and the ball of the bounce of the rugby ball, you can see it there.
Kubikanga is very lucky that the chase from the Warriors did not materialize as he let the bounce in front of him. He gained some territory, and now the Rhinos have an advantage, so this is a free play for them to attack for offside, as a straight carry into Samuel Odinga there. And now the second phase. Sebi Dandi finds Ivan Chirabo. Ivan Chirabo finds his center, Kevin Nazo, who knocks the ball forward, but they were playing advantage, so the Rhinos will have a penalty just about 2 or 3 meters from the 22-meter territory, but to the right of the uprights. Do the Rhinos go to the corner and opt for the line out, or they go for the 3 points to stretch even further away from the Warriors, as yet again we see a Rhinos player being attended to, and I think this is a linger. And yes, indeed, the captain for the Rhinos has pointed towards the uprights, so Ivan Chirabo will give it a shot for the 3 points.
And the ball drops, which puts further pressure on the kicker.
I think this time he's running out of time, so he will have to go for the drop goal. But it has stabilized, he takes it quickly. That has shifted his concentration, and he has sent that kick just outside of the uprights. We saw the first changes in this half for the Rhinos, as they've made a complete change of their front row.
Release!
It's a scrappy ball there from the Rhinos. Raymond Ogwang. Raymond Ogwang is a Twitter favorite for Ugandan rugby fans. He is on for, he said he would be playing the second half, and he is on to give a fight for the Warriors to get back into this one, as the ball is shuffled out quickly to Davis Shima. Davis Shima finds Joseph Anyi. Anyi breaks the first tackle, and he will dive over for a beautiful Rhinos try in the corner. It's 15 points for the Rhinos. Joseph Anyi, what a try. You can see the joy from his teammates as they come in to congratulate him and celebrate with him, as the Rhinos slowly by slowly tear the Warriors apart with their ferocious attacking pack and stinging backline.
Yeah, definitely. They're very, very good run there by Joseph Anyi. Another of those boys from the Namiliango. It's interesting. I don't know what has been happening. While other teams have been making the big moves in the transfer window, the Rhinos seem to have gone back to the grassroots and getting the younger players. And we can see Joseph Anyi there scoring a try and repaying the confidence put in him by coach Marshall Chumkam. Can they be able to get the extras?
2 years. The conversion by Ivan Chirabo was wide, so the score remains at 15-7. Warriors to win this one will need to score a converted try and extra points to get into the lead. It's stretching further away from them, but 2 years without schools rugby has forced the clubs to reinvent themselves. Initially, some clubs, like you mentioned, some schools were attached to some clubs. So Namiliango is more predominantly known to be working with the Kampala Old Boys Rugby Club. But this time we're seeing a couple of boys coming in from Namiliango and going to the Rhinos, and we can see that 2 of those in the back line are now with Rhinos, and one of them has scored the try today. That is Joseph Anyi, as Rhinos now play advantage for a high tackle.
Guys, let's watch
Ivan
our tackles.
Chirabo.
The next high tackle is a card. Okay?
And that's the final
Let's watch
warning
our
to the
tackles.
Warriors for their tackling. The next infringement at the tackle in any contact zone will be a yellow card to the Warriors, as Ivan Chirabo fails to find touch. He finds the hands of Henry Musisi. Henry Musisi has a straight line in front of him, raises an up and under and chases it himself. It is towards Davis Shimwa, who regathers well. No, he doesn't. Samuel Odinga off the bench has found the kick. Tackler is not rolling away. Quick ball by Henry Musisi, finds his flyer 5 and Mugiria. Yet again, the tackler is not rolling away. And now Abdallah Latif to Arajab Kakaire, who carries into contact. He has been released. And now there's Marvin Agaba. The 3-pod for the Warriors getting to work in the middle channels. Raymond Ogwang skipped and ball straight to Moses Mutumba. Moses Mutumba there settling for contact. Rhinos are contesting, but yet again it's from the side, as the Warriors had asked the referee to note. They're playing off the PD. Possession has been turned over, but advantage has not been gained. And it's a penalty for the Warriors. Inside the Rhinos territory, in kickable territory, the T has come on, so Richard Kinya will be calling for points to inch closer, make it 10, and come within a try of the Rhinos.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity that they need to take to cut down the deficit so they can get within 5 points of the Rhinos. And Richard Kinyai getting through his kicking rituals, his paces, as with his multicolored boots. Yes, he gets the kick right this time round. And that takes the score to 10 for the Warriors, Rhinos 15. So the deficit is cut to 5. They still have a lot to do. And luckily enough, in 15's rugby, when you score, they kick back to you, so they will have the opportunity to attack. It will most likely be a case of the Rhinos kicking deep to try and play a bit of territory so that they can get the Warriors starting their attack from deep rather than having it start from around the 10-meter mark. And you can see, yes, they have gone for the deep kick. Who's able to collect, and that is Abdallah Latif. Beats the first tackle, and the second man gets him on the tackle, but the tacklers are not releasing, and you can see there's advantage play there tacklers not releasing. There's no clear case of daylight, so it's going to be a penalty. And patient play there. Ivan Mujiria, captain, is going to be looking to go for kick or touch, and he has a very reliable boot there, getting them some extra meters, valuable meters inside the Rhinos half. Can they be able to effect another attack? Remember, they are 5 points down, and Henry Musisi has been instrumental for the Warriors in that resurgence, in that effort that led to the penalty. They have lost Gabriel Aredo, who was at fullback and playing very well, but he came off with an ankle injury. Hope it's not serious. And the ball is stolen by the Rhinos. So we talked about the line-out being an area of concern for both teams, as Charles Lutaya carries considerably well there. He's able to set up her, and Henry Musisi gathers. Abdallah Latif is not the biggest man, but he has carried so many balls in this particular game. And slowly digging, Henry Musisi looking for his fly half, finds him. Ivan Mujiria, Isaac Tago clashes with David Shimwa. He gathers the ball yet again. Clean up work for Isaac Tago there. Beautiful, beautiful. And the veteran Hudson Mugirwa there, he getting the ball, and Samuel Odinga going for the chip and chase. You never usually see that by a forward, but the chip and chase by Samuel Odinga, and it's met by the chase. Remember, a kick is as good as the chase, and they bundle the Rhinos player into touch. Let us see what the referee has to say. It is a water break there.
Very strong attack there by... Very strong attack and defense by both teams, but in this very last sequence of play, we saw some innovative approach by the Warriors as they look to inch even closer to the Rhinos. And we saw, you said that we don't usually seek forwards kicking, but when they do, it either goes so well or it goes wrong. And this time it went well for Samuel Odinga, as their chase was good, the kick was good, the chase was good, and they were able to bundle the defense into touch and force a turnover. Once we return after this water break, it will be a Warriors throw in the line-out.
And as you can see, Marshall Chumkam there using this water break to just get some knowledge onto his team, trying to communicate with them. Some of the areas where he hasn't felt like they have done right, where they haven't really communicated well, as the rest of the other members of the team management are also there trying to impart knowledge. But these water breaks are particularly important for refreshment. And you can see the Warriors as well. Gabriel Aredo now turning into coach mode with that injury that took him off, trying to tell the guys that, you know what, we can still get this game back, we can still do a lot, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take the leadership of their group of leaders to really drive them forward. Ivan Mujiria, Henry Musisi, and Moses Mutumba and Adson Mugera have to really come up to the fore, take the tackles, carry the ball. Interesting to note, a player that is not around, not available for selection today, but has crossed from the Warriors to the Rhinos, is Owen Kinyera, who you can see at the far end, this time seated with the Rhinos contingent. Interesting to see.
Yeah, I think you can know that the allegiances have been switched. I spoke to Owen Kinyera earlier today, and he said that it's a one-year move that he's with the Rhinos to try out a new chapter in his career. And you can see that he has already shifted from the purple camp to the yellow camp. We know that in Uganda, not very many people are brave to make moves from a colorful camp to another colorful camp, this time in yellow. But Owen Kinyera, choosing to sit out this one today, has begun his days at the Rhinos.
And as you can see, the Rhinos bench, a lot of players that have served their time, and they have done a lot of work. And another good thing about the bench is they are always able to impart a lot of information to the guys on the pitch. You know, when you're on the pitch, sometimes you don't see everything, but the guys out there are able to let you know what you're missing out on.
So it's my whistle, eh?
The whistle has gone for the clock to be back on.
So big, calm down.
So we are in for the final 20 minutes
When you're ready,
of this game. Lutaya to throw in the lineout. Not the cleanest of lineouts, but gathered by Marvin Agaba. And ball well secured by the Warriors. Henry Musisi. Feed Samuel Alinga. Looked like a high tackle, but the referee says it is chest-to-chest contact. Henry Musisi scanning for his options. Goes to the back line for Ivan Mugiria. Ivan Mugiria finds Richard Kinyai. Richard Kinyai sells the dummy. He's tackled high. But the ball is well secured. Henry Musisi back inside to his pack of forwards who are running the three-pod. Well carried by Odinga.
tackle away.
Tackler is not rolling away. Possession is being contested at the breakdown by the Rhinos. And they have lost it forward at that turnover. The Warriors can recognize that they're leaving the ball open for the Rhinos defense to attack. And you could hear Ivan Chirao saying, let's make our turnovers even cleaner. So both teams know where their challenges are, and they also know where their opportunities are. But let's see how much of an advantage they will take when the opportunity comes at the breakdown.
18,
Yeah, as the
8
scrum is being effected, supervised by the referee, Rosenberg Kanyunyuzi, just to make sure it's stable before she allows Henry Musisi to feed in the ball, and she gives the green light. The ball goes, and you
Quick
can see
ball out.
quick ball, Richard Kinyai, and it's a knock-on. These are the things that are, make Warriors not really take the chances that they should be taking. And we are seeing knees on ground there. The defenders should be releasing the ball carrier.
I must say, Ruben, you're speaking really, really emotionally, because you have a personal attachment to Warriors, and these mistakes, while they are happening, they hit the core of your heart, and you feel there could be more done by your team.
Yeah, because at some point, some of these things are really avoidable. You understand that mistakes are human, but some of these mistakes can really be avoided, and it's absurd. But credit to see that the Rhinos are able to capitalize on these mistakes and still frustrate the Warriors. But the one thing they need to do is get out of their half, because if they keep playing around from there, a penalty is going to come up, and the next penalty will put them in a very bad situation. The Warriors seem to have found their code, so Kinyai is kicking a lot better in the second half, so they really need to avoid putting him in situations where he can kick for goal.
Yep, so let's see if the Rhinos think the same of the decisions they have to make off the scrum down.
Set.
Paul Kalonji feeds out by Jerry Tembo, who finds Paul Kalonji again on the loop, who runs around his opposite number, Ivan Mugiria. There is Ochan Juma on the cross cover. Henry Musisi makes a very good cross covering tackle. The ball has been lost forward, says the center referee, but what a run by Paul Kalonji to hit that gap in the middle between the 10 and the 12.
Can someone help me with this thing? Like it's off.
The referee has called the time off, and we will be having some connection to her microphone, and as the Warriors now re-strategize how they attack with this ball from...
So if I sprint, it can't stand my bat. If I sprint, it can't stand my bat. It went off.
But credit there to Henry Musisi. That chase, he never gave up. When Paul Kalonji had actually beaten Ochan Juma and was... He thought, I think in his head he was already thinking, I'm already past the try line.
Yeah, at that point you're preparing yourself to ground the ball. You're making your final steps towards the try line. You're looking for where you will ground the ball, where it's safe for you. And if you're a person who likes to finish in a flashy way, you're thinking, do I dive? Do I just ground the ball?
Move. Please come.
Line out, not straight. Advantage for the knock-on. Henry Musisi fumbles it as well. So it's a knock-on. First knock-on. The rugby regulations say advantage will be played, but we will go back to the first infringement. So it is a scrum down feed for the Warriors, who have struggled in this particular set piece.
The Warriors have failed to pick a ball from their own scrums. And they get an opportunity to try once again, as time is not their best ally at the moment. They need to get that ball moving. I don't think they need to kick that ball away. They need to attack, and they need to be intentional about the way they attack. As Henry Musisi attempts to get the ball, pressure from Pool Kalunji, and it's going to be a 12 carry short ball there by the 12, Isaac Tago, and back to the scrum. And,
oh man, it's been lost forward again.
The case of another knock-on, and Rhinos now get the opportunity to attack.
This is Raymond Ogwang. I like seeing Raymond play rugby. He's one of these very vocal players who have still stuck in this one. I think he gives me some FOMO that maybe I should come back and play some rugby. But while at it, he's being told by a center referee to support his weight. I do not want to say he has a lot of weight, but he needs to stay on his feet and support his weight at that breakdown, so that the opponents can get a chance to play a good ball and have a fair contest at that breakdown. But it's a scrum down for the Rhinos. Raymond Ogwang will be hoping that the weight that he has, which he was unable to support at that breakdown, will be very, very instrumental in helping his team retain possession or gain possession at this scrum down. Slow ball out by Paul Kalonji, but the center referee is playing advantage for scrum off. Henry Musisi being offside. And there's Cyprian Banshanga, straight carry into his opposite man. Paul Kalonji gets the slow ball, finds Ivan Chirabo, who looks up and looks for the green. Advantage is over, so Chan Juma will leave the ball to bounce all the way into touch in goal.
Oh, you kick the ball. No, we are under pressure. Scrum there.
And the Warriors have opted for a scrum at the point where the ball was kicked from, instead of a 22-meter drop.
Scrum. You're not under pressure, kick our ball. So you decided to play that way. You decided to play that way.
An update from across the road at Chadondo in the Chadondo Derby. Heathens have walked away with this one 47-0, and on the scoreboard the debutants today have enjoyed themselves. Joachim Kisano was able to find the whitewash and score his first try, and it has now hit a 50-point mark. It's a half century for Heathens in the Chadondo Derby, with 7 minutes left to play here in the Legends Derby.
Yeah, the game here is slowing down a bit, with particular attention to the scrum. Both teams, I think, a case of tired legs and tired arms there, and maybe also tired shoulders. Teams are not able to really support themselves very well at the scrum, and that is where it gets a bit tricky. And you can see the referee is paying close attention to that for both the player's safety and the interest of the game. And the ball is still there being contested for, and we see a player down. I think the shoulder, it's a case of a shoulder that has come out.
Ivan Mwesigwa is in very, very much pain, clutching onto his shoulder.
So nothing happened, yeah?
So he's talking to the referee, and it's not a foul, it's not an offense by his opposite number, as he tells the referee that he felt his shoulder pop out. And what looked like his opposite number, Marvin Agava, had evoked his inner Tyson Fury with the dark arts at that scrummage.
Are you okay? Scrum.
So it's a scrum.
Team going forward.
The team going forward, the team in possession, will maintain possession of the ball at the mark where the ball was last played. And so possession will stay in the hands of the Rhinos, who are doing everything they can to ensure that the clock ticks away into the 80s. And the Warriors working hard. And the Warriors working so hard to put some points on the board and probably get a losing bonus point or even staging a late comeback. in
Yeah,
this one.
I think a losing bonus point is something that would be that they would take with both hands in this particular case. As we are seeing, Henry Musisi has been given a rest, and a player making his debut called Antonio Bradley, having a bit of South African descent as well, playing his first game for the Warriors at scrum half. Let us see if he can be able to add some impact there in the shoes left by a very instrumental man with the names of Henry Musisi. As ball is kicked straight into touch, and then that means we have to go back to the mark where the ball was kicked, and it's back inside the Rhinos half. Game management is going to be very key for the Rhinos right now. They know they cannot give the Warriors a sniff of a comeback, because this could be very heartbreaking for them if they let such a lead slip in these very, very few minutes left.
I remember last season, the game between the Rhinos and the Warriors was a similar score. It was 13-19, I believe. 13-23.
Yeah, in the past few seasons, it has been a tight game between the two. As Raymond Ogwang
oh yes, Raymond Ogwang with a big carry there.
He sets up, not a small boy himself, as Antonio Bradley tries to dig for the ball and gives to Adson Mugera. Adson Mugera loses the ball in contact, and Paul Kalunji, who has been running all day, offloads the ball, and it's
Cyprian Banshanga there from Tare School, who was the former school captain at Tare, but he's playing in his third season for the Warriors, for the Rhinos, as Davis Shimwa fends off Latif Abdallah and loses the ball to Isaac Tago in contact. And now the Warriors have an even bigger uphill task to chase into this one. Ivan Mugiria in the pocket, puts the ball to the boot for Gabriel to regather. He looks up, he will carry this one, finds some space there, cuts and runs into Samuel Odinga and is brought down by Etan Juma. Tacklers rolling away, there's no one manning the backfield, but the forwards are in possession of this one for the Rhinos. They continue to surge forward. Turnover one by Marvin Agawa there, but the ball has been turned back to the side of the Warriors, of the Rhinos. And now the backline can play. Davis Shimwa, inside ball out to his substitute hooker, who carries now inside the 22. The Rhinos are looking to stamp their authority and close this one out for against the Warriors. Strong carry into Samuel Odinga, goes Ivan Mwesigwa. Now the Rhinos are 10 short of the try line. Paul Kalunji calling his forwards in, sends the ball out for a straight running man who now goes 5 meters short. The Rhinos are beating the gain line. They are just a few meters shy of the try area, but he has been held up. They actually reached the try area, but they have been held up there. Strong attacking phases from the Rhinos, but even stronger defense on the back foot from the Warriors.
Yeah, the Rhinos really taking control of that game with pure dominion there, with everyone coming, running at the ball with intent and attacking the gain line. Warriors were lost, were really, really lost, and they are saved by that held up call. And maybe they can get a chance to breathe and hopefully ask for this game to end, because they seem to have finally lost the gas. And like you said, Gabriel, I already mentioned yesterday that the conditioning is something that's missing, and you can clearly see that it is missing. The players are exhausted. Of the two teams, you can see Rhinos is still the fresher, and Warriors looks battered and beaten at the moment.
Can the Warriors deny the Rhinos from getting extra points in this one? First, they have to make use of this first play. It's a goal line dropout.
It's a goal line drop. So they are kicking.
For having been held up in the in-goal area, the new regulations. The players didn't look like they understood the call from the referee, but that's the new law amendment trials that have been put into effect starting with last year and going into the Rugby World Cup next year, as Richard Kinyai clears his half, finds touch behind Kwebi Kanga, and now on to Gabriel Kwebiha. Gabriel Kwebiha finds Cyprian Banshanga. Cyprian Banshanga straightens back into contact, tries to bump off his opposite man, but there's a lot of weight there and is able to be stopped. Onto the blind side now, Goes Mwesigwa and the big carry, the man off the bench for the Rhinos. Ball out wide to Pul Kalunji. Pul Kalunji finds Cyprian Banshanga. Cyprian Banshanga carries into contact, is held up by Ivan Mugiria, but it's a tackle called by the center referee. So the tackler needs to release and make it a fair contest for both teams. Secure the ruck and turn over the ball once the player has put his knees on the floor. And it's a penalty for the Rhinos as Davis Shima takes over kicking duties from Ivan Chirabo and finds good touch for the Rhinos, who are surely going to walk away with this win today unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, Davis Shima has really raised up his hand to be counted, and he has been really instrumental. And you can see that he's a young man, but he has been a leader. He has been calling out, he has been leading from the front with the tackles, carrying the ball well, and now he's also taking on the kicking duties, kicking for touch. And you can just see
a little bit quiet in the second half, but I think he has done enough to get the man of the match award today, hasn't he?
I think I'd give it to Paul Kalunji. I think Paul Kalunji has really controlled the game well. He has been everywhere. He has been a menace for the Warriors, and he has been able to control his own team. So I think I'd give it to Paul Kalunji in particular as my man of the match.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the man of the match today is coming from the Rhinos. Could go to Paul Kalunji, could go to Davis Shima, or any of their teammates. But in this last play, let's see how the Rhinos can put the icing on the cake like we saw in the game before that.
They'll definitely be looking for some gloss to the score. What can they be able to do?
But the ball was not straight at that line out. We were in the last play. The Warriors have an option for line out or scrum, and they have opted for the scrum down.
Yeah.
Being inside their 22, they can just kick the ball out and take the damage as it is, or throw the kitchen sink one more time at the Rhinos and look to chase that losing bonus point.
Yeah, and I think the losing bonus point is what they have on their minds. Remember, the league is a marathon, and every point you get matters. So if they got at least 1 point from this game, that would go a whole long way into being ahead of so many teams that have lost by big margins today on game day 1. But as we're seeing the scrum being set, Antonio Bradley, the young scrummer, fits understudy to Henry Musisi this season in the absence of team captain Simon Peter Nyeko. And this time Richard Kinyai decides to put ball to boot, and Emmanuel Duku looked like he was about to get it, but unfortunately the Rhinos effecting a counter attack, and
Manuel Kwebikanga beating two men and finding
Gabriel Keriha is escorted into touch.
And that will be the last play of the game. Oh.
Yes, I think the game ended as it started. High intensity, high attrition, disappointment from the Warriors.
And you can see there,
the youngsters of Rhinos will be very much encouraged by such a show. Wonderful there by the Rhinos, who are able to get this win, 18 points to 10 for the Warriors. And like we always say, rugby is a game of gentlemen. After all the pushing, shoving, and tackling, then you shake hands and congratulate each other for the effort. Well done. But you can see what it means to the Warriors. Ochan Juma very disappointed, but getting up to join his team. And like we said, that you put everything aside and you go and shake your opponent's hand, because that is what the game is all about. It's all about camaraderie. It's all about being a gentleman. It's all about the spirit of sportsmanship. And Warriors, it will be a tough pill for them to swallow. They were unable to get the losing bonus point. The Rhinos were also unable to get the winning bonus point. But at least they will take the win. It gives them a very good start to the season. The past few seasons, they have been starting the league with a loss. This time they start with a win. So that could be a change of tidings in their regard. So
yeah, you mentioned the most important thing I think we need to be happy about is the start of the 2022 rugby calendar with the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. We have had all the teams in action today, and the results will be coming in. We're still compiling the results, but I think from Legends Rugby Grounds we have had a good show of rugby from both teams. There could only be 2 winners out of the 4 today, but both teams, given the conditions and and the status of the teams, especially Impis, who have played their hearts out against the defending champions Cobs, you feel that the 46-5 loss that they suffered today was a good result given their recent performance in the previous games?
Yeah, definitely. They have been having much worse scores. So I think, and with the second half display they had, I feel like that was an improvement on their end. It was a loss, yes, but there was an improvement there. So they'll have something at least to work on going into game week 2.
And so how about across in the other early kickoff across at Makerere with Rams and Mongas yet again playing to a low-scoring game of 10-3 in favor of the visitors?
Yeah, those are two teams that play a similar kind of rugby. The Mongas, although having a lot of youngsters coming in, and we saw many of them in the sevens, and these were both teams that they really enjoyed the banter over the entirety of the week. The Mongas saying that they are going to enjoy some rams for lunch, and the Rams saying that they are going to eat some fish. So it was an interesting banter, but Mongas went away with that victory. I think 10 points to 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the final score.
And after all that banter throughout the week, I think Mongas have the upper hand. You know, sometimes banter is good, but you have to remember that you have to back it up with the show on pitch.
Like they say, Twitter does not play rugby. The Mongas have shown that they are not only playing, they are going to play the rugby on the pitch as opposed to Twitter only. And so in the other game, we had Pirates taking on Hippos, and they held on for a 19-0 win. Try, I think it's important for us to mention, one of the tries scored by Peter Visaso, a new signing, but Ginger Hippos signings in Isaac Rujumba and Michael Amolo, although they were unable to put up some points on the board for their team, they played very beautifully today, as we have heard from our correspondents across in Kings Park, Gary.
From the reports coming in, the Hippos really played their hearts out. They really caused a lot of challenges for the Pirates, but were unable to show that on the scoreboard, which is the most important statistic. First half was just 5-0. For those that have been familiar with the way Pirates plays, usually that is not what their halftime scores are like. But credit to Hippos, and you can see the element of Robert Seguya, the late Robert Seguya, is still in this Hippos team. The structure, the character, and Hippos is a team that is on the upward. But Pirates showing their hunger and their need to go back to being champions by getting a win even when they are not playing at their best.
Yeah, they will be happy to have taken the bonus point win. But then the team that is atop the standings from match day 1 is none other than Heathens, who are still on pitch right now taking on the Buffaloes. It is currently 50-0 in the Chadondo Derby. The Chadondo Derby couldn't have gone one-sided anymore. They are leading 50-0. And like we were mentioning earlier with the new signings, we got reports that Joachim Kisano from Mongas scored a try of his own.
Yeah, on paper we had already discussed that off air, that Heathens looks to have the best team on paper, and they have showed that it's just not on paper, that they have had
even on the ground.
On ground they have put 50 points and the game is yet to end. Who knows what it will end like. So they are top of the table already assured, beating a team that usually gives them hard time at home in the Chadondo Derby, and also having that combination of youth and experience, and also bringing in those fresh legs. You know, sometimes you need fresh people into the team to spark some life, and that is the perfect gel they have. I think they're the perfect rugby cocktail in Uganda right now. And
talking of cocktails, that was the serving that we have got in the first day of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. It's match day 1. We will give you a rundown of the results as they were today. In the first kickoff here at Legends Rugby Grounds, we had Cobs beating Impis by 46 points to 5. And then later, in the other kickoff in the Legends Derby, that was the Warriors losing by 18 points to 10 against the Rhinos. Across town in Boyogere, Pirates held off the Hippos to win 19-0, taking a bonus point away from that, and they will be satisfied with the result. But then at Makerere at Chadondo we have, and it's still ongoing, Heathens currently leading 50 points to 0 against the Buffaloes. That was all the action that was available for us. We will be returning next weekend There is a double header at Chadon Rugby Grounds, but most importantly, there is a top of the table clash between the Heathens and the Cobs in the second match day. But also, the Women's League will be starting, the Women's National League this time, not just Regional League. The Women's National League will be starting with some games at Chadondo and other games at Kings Park Stadium. So please keep it Kawowo Sports. Thanks for being with us today. My name is Ernest Akorebirunj, and I've been joined by Ruben Chumro on commentary. We will be seeing you again next week when we return for match day 2 of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League.
Cheers.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.